On today's show, if you're new to band merch and you want to start selling it, we're going to tell you what to sell and how to sell it.
This is 15-minute music marketing. Cue the title sequence.
Welcome to 15-Minute Music Marketing, the show for independent artists and DIY musicians who want to get better at marketing their music.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hello, I'm Sheldon, and this is 15-Minute Music Marketing, the show for people who want to market their music, but they've not got a lot of time in which to do it. This is part 2, Greg, of our quick initial look at band merch. Shall we have a quick recap from episode 1?
Let's first of all, I feel a need to correct you in a sense of saying that they don't have a lot of time. I would question that they might not necessarily have quite enough skills.
No, well, time and skills, but time is money, Greg. We've only got 15 minutes.
Fair enough.
I'm going to recap.
Go on, Sheldon.
Recaps are good. You know, I used to be in education. Recaps are great for reinforcing knowledge. So in our last episode, and if you haven't watched the intro to band merch, episode number 1, you should do that right now. But here's a recap. Greg, we covered the why people should sell band merch. Basically, it's a good way of earning money if you're a musician. It's low-hanging fruit. You
Sheldon,
can argue. Go on.
I would say that you would probably say, considering you have a room in an outbuilding full of stuff, I would say that it's quite lucrative.
It can be, but it's just one of the. If you're a musician, a DIY musician, as we said before, you're not likely to make that much money from streaming. You're probably not getting that much money in terms of money from your gigs. You might be getting petrol money and maybe a little bit of something, maybe a few beers, and potentially that's it. So just an opportunity to make some money from the merch. You know, it's great. It could be a stepping stone to actually earning some money from your career. We covered the when people should be selling merch. Maybe if you've got maybe between 500 and 1,000, maybe 2,000 followers on each sort of social platform. Maybe you're getting a modest amount of people to your shows. We also reminded people that you're going to need to make a capital investment in terms of you're going to need money to actually make this merch.
So spend money to make money.
Yes, but you're going to need to spend some money in the first instance, so you are going to need to have that initial capital investment. This comes from a man who spent £2,500 on T-shirts in the past month or so, but let's not go into that right now.
$2,500 on T-shirts.
And
how much do you spend on hoodies?
Oh, don't ask.
Okay.
We've only got 15 minutes. But, you know, you're going to need to put the stock somewhere, even if it's just a small room or cupboard in your house, or as I have in an outbuilding because it's grown that large.
And you wanted your garage back.
So that's your recap.
Okay, so let's expand upon that.
Okay.
And you can expand whilst I actually read the notes. I'm going to put them the right
go on.
way round.
You read your headings.
Okay. Let me switch to the other camera. So I've got you've caught me completely off guard now.
You're underprepared.
Okay, yeah, I am. So you've already done the recap. So what would you recommend as the merch store basics that every store should have? So I'm presuming, before I flick to the other camera because it is on me at the moment, is that, you know, so the basic items, because you didn't start with just everything that you've got now, did you?
I started with T-shirts, band T-shirts, artist T-shirts. That's point number 1.
So go on then, show us your wear, Sheldon.
Well, okay, this is just a simple one-screen T-shirt. Now the screen is the ink.
Okay.
So I'm paying for the white ink in this particular case for those listening on the podcast. Hello, audio fans. So I've got a black T-shirt and I'm paying for the screen. So that's a one-colour screen. Mm-hmm. And in terms of, that's the simplest T-shirt you can manufacture.
Okay.
Your T-shirt that you buy has one colour, whether it's black, white, red, orange, blue, and the colour of ink on top will be another colour, and that's what you're paying for. And just the colour from the T-shirt, colour from the ink, that gives you 2 colours. As I say, one colour screen is cheap to make. More screen colours, Greg? Oh, I want 10 colours on my T-shirt. Well, the greater the cost. So try and keep it nice and simple.
Show us the logo.
You don't need to see the logo.
Yeah, in terms of like Obviously,
you're,
you
if-
paid
if-
for the design yourself, haven't you?
Indeed, and the idea is that get a designer to design maybe a full colour artist or band logo, and then also get them to transfer that to a one colour design, almost like render it down,
Yeah.
just so you can use it and apply it on not just T-shirts, on everything. You think about a logo, Greg, it's an investment. You know, you could be using that same logo in 20 years' time. Think of the Rolling Stones lips. Think of the AC/DC logo and the Kiss logo. They remained unchanged throughout their careers.
They are. You know, it's like typical branding, isn't it? That
It
they
is.
don't try to. Although I do remember that when I first had my logo, you always criticised the wrong apostrophe in the But you know, it's a learning curve. But if you don't make mistakes, you can't learn from them, can you?
So I would suggest the minimum number of T-shirts you should be maybe buying is 50.
In one size.
Not in one size, in one go. Obviously, those are spread over a variety of sizes.
Right,
But you're going to
okay.
need to get, you know, a good enough batch to get them at a reasonable price, and for you to have a reasonable amount of stock. So think about your initial order maybe being 50. Then you can see how they sell. You can go from
So
there.
now we're coming to the almost forgotten format because everyone's gone on to streaming. Come on, show us where number 2.
CDs. People still want physical music, Greg. As we've said before on this particular show, if you go to a show, people will buy a CD not necessarily to play, but as a souvenir of the evening or the occasion itself.
I read or heard that 50% of the Americans buying vinyl don't have a turntable.
I read that exact same article.
So I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't think they're playing frisbee with them.
Well, you know, it's just nice to look at, nice to hold. People still like a tangible souvenir if you sign it.
But that's the thing. You did make wrong button. You did make the point. People want a souvenir. So it's almost like now that this isn't a medium to listen to the music on. It's a souvenir. So CDs, DVDs, which is possibly
Ooh, that's possibly stretching it.
it's a souvenir. It's a keepsake.
So people, in terms of manufacture, tend to like these these cardboard
Digipacks.
Digipacks. That's a very good word for it. That is the word.
That is
That's
the word.
I was looking for.
It's not even Greece
If
is
you're
the word,
getting, you could get them maybe duplicated, maybe a run of 50. That might do you.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you can either get them replicated, which is going to be cheaper per item, but you're going to need more of them done.
You minimum of 300 for replication.
I'm surprised it's that low. And usually it's going to take maybe a couple of weeks to get it done.
Yeah.
Whereas duplicated, which we've been doing for years and years,
Plug.
you can get, there's no minimum amount. You could get 3 done, you could get 11, you can get 500. And the advantage of that is that you can usually get the turnaround much quicker, but it looks like a duplicated CD, not like a normal replicated in the
And
shops.
you do get, I know this from personal experience, people contacting you say, oh, this doesn't play in my car.
Well, the thing is that depends on who's done the duplication. My duplicator will tell me if there's something wrong with that. It won't let me put them through. But yeah, and this will lead on to a point that you're saying at some point in terms of not doing it yourself.
Yes, indeed. So I know what you're thinking, Greg. Oh,
What am I thinking?
CDs. Maybe you should splash out and do this vinyl then if everybody's buying vinyl. The thing about vinyl is a turnaround time for vinyl between 6 to 8 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
You can get priority slots, but you pay more.
You're going to be paying
for
more.
those. And they are a significant investment. CDs are much cheaper than vinyl. Vinyl can be horrendously expensive to manufacture.
And also another thing to bear in mind is you're going to have to get it mastered for vinyl.
Mastered for vinyl, and they do take up more physical space. And if they don't,
And they're heavy.
yes, and if they don't sell, then
But the thing is, I get the impression that we're speaking to some of my clients. They all want vinyl because it's that. I want that on my. I want that on. It's something to tick off my bucket list. So
that's all very well and good. But if you want to burn £1,000 and end up like the KLF burning them all in a field.
well, no, I think that was for other reasons. But the other thing though is how much are you going to sell a CD for?
You get a minimum of £10, I would say, on a merch stall.
And how much? And when you think that, how much is a vinyl?
Well, you can go to a shop and get a classic album on vinyl for about 35, 40 quid these days.
It's madness. Who would spend £30 on it? I couldn't believe it when I went into HMV and I saw it was like going back to the 80s, but the price had reversed. So now vinyl was the price that CDs used to be.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Right. Third item for the merch stall.
Go on.
The good old badges. Our American friends call these buttons, so hello to anyone in America.
American.
Dirt cheap to make, 25mm, 38mm, cheap to make. You can sell them at a reasonably cheap cost and still make some money. Or how about this one, Greg? You can give small badges away for people who sign up to your mailing list on a farm.
That's pretty cool.
On the night, so that could be a great incentive for people to do that.
So you've also put on here posters. Do you really sell a lot of posters?
I sell quite a lot of posters. A3 size again. Reason being, the dirt cheap to make. We can make ours for about 50p each. You can sell them for £1, sell them for £2, £3. Again,
It's 100%
sign
profit.
them,
Yeah.
make them a little bit more valuable. And that is your basic lineup. Those are your merch stall basics. Something that if you have a merch stall, start at your t-shirts, work your way,
And expand out.
expand outwards.
Are you going to say don't jump into the hoodies straight away?
I wouldn't jump into the hoodies straight away. No, learn what your audience like, even potentially what colours
Yeah.
they like. And if you're going to expand anything, maybe go from one T-shirt design to two T-shirt designs, or even two T-shirt colours.
Okay, so if that's your introduction of items...
That's the range.
Okay, let's talk pricing. How much does all this cost, and how much should I be selling it for?
Well, I can't talk individual costs for each item because they do vary depending even on the type of T-shirts, the amount that you actually get. But so let's just talk markups instead. Whatever it costs you, you should be adding between 100 to maybe 200% markup. So if you make a T-shirt and it costs you £5, then you should be looking to sell it for between £10 and £15. And some of you might be... you could even stretch your luck at £20. That might be a little bit excessive, but the thing that I will say is that if you've got a strong brand, then branding adds value, and that could equate to monetary value on your merch stall.
Do you think there's a point where you just kind of go, nah, someone's taking the J middle miss?
The thing is, for larger artists, touring can be an expensive endeavour. So that is why your tour T-shirts can potentially be £30. Whereas if some of my T-shirt costs are coming out between £6 and maybe £7. So what my band like to do is, because I like to think of ourselves as a social endeavour, then we just have maybe around about 100% markup.
Which is still a decent return.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, we've got various taxes and other costs to come out of that. But
and also, the thing that's really grinds my gears, so to speak, is when you pay to hire a venue and then they also want a commission of your merch. It's just like... And you do want to go, well, that's fine. I want a percentage of your bar sales.
That's a conversation
for another time.
For another podcast.
Okay, so finally, what other tips can you pass on regarding selling merch?
Don't skimp. Don't think, I should get the cheapest possible T-shirts from the cheapest possible provider. Because what someone's going to do is they're going to take it home, wear it, wash it, and then it's going to end up the size of a tent. Thankfully, that's never happened with us. But and the thing is, people will go, no, I'm not buying their T-shirts because I bought their T-shirts before.
Yeah.
So you've lost a customer potentially for life. Have a cash float is one go. The idea is that you should keep your money as an individual, if you're particularly selling it on your merch stall, separate from the band's money. Because what happens is somebody will pay for a £10 CD with a £20 note, and then you go, I haven't got any change, and so you end up giving them £10 out of your own money, and you end up basically buying the merch yourself. In this day and age, you've got to have a card reader. Not too expensive, these. I went online. They're £29
Okay.
these days, which, if you think about it, if you're out gigging every week and you do 29 gigs a year, that's a
And I hope that's lasted longer than the PayPal one, which now they've canned it, even though I bought one, and I've got to buy another one. Thanks, PayPal.
I was doing a gig. There was a support band with us. This is a couple of weeks back. They were selling merch on a stall next to us. First customer comes up, buys a T-shirt, wherever it was, £15, and she proceeds to give this fella a debit card, and he went, "Oh, we want to take cash." Sale lost straight off, first off.
It is madness, considering how much. It's not like using a Streamline machine.
No, 85% of sales, I would say now, on my merch stall are debit card. So if you haven't got a card reader, you're going to be significantly missing out on sales.
Literally put a torch down on it.
Well, yeah, a torch, a light. Some venues are better lit than others, so you do need to be able to see what you're doing, and for the customers to see what they're buying.
Okay.
Keep records of what you're selling. So you might want to have a tally chart just to say how many particular items you're selling on a night.
I guess it also helps to know what's popular, so you can make sure to keep that stock so you don't miss out on sales.
Keep a record of the money that you're making, even if it's a Google sheet or something in Excel. You can just keep a tot-up of the amount of money that you're making per night. And also, if things are maybe not selling as quickly as you'd like them to, create maybe a discounted bundle, so you could take 2 items. Maybe if it's a slow-selling T-shirt and maybe the CDs aren't selling as best as they could, bundle them together, give them a significant price. You'll probably still end up making money.
Oh, yeah.
But, people like a bargain.
Yeah, definitely do.
Although, as we say on our merch stall, you buy one, you get one. Thanks, Flanders. So we've only got a limited amount of time, Greg.
Yep.
So many things that we haven't
And we're almost within the 15 minutes.
That's good. So we've not discussed drop shipping. Maybe that's another episode. Where to sell online. I'll just say the words Bandcamp. And that sort of concludes our brief foray into the world of band merch. If you've got any questions, if you'd like us to follow up with another episode, and I think there's a way of activating the Q&A if you listen to this on Spotify. I'll have a look. So, yeah, fire questions at us for band merch. I will say, Greg, that the most money that we've made selling band merch on one night has been in the past 12 months. It was over £4,000.
What?
So, I'm not expecting you to as noobs selling band merch, but this is just an idea of the sort of money that potentially can be made. And I would say, as an artist, from the money that we make in terms of our artist fee, we can make between maybe a quarter and a third more on top of that with the selling of band merch. So it is a significant revenue generator for myself and my band. I
guess if you've built the brand awareness, could that be classed as passive income, which seems to be a buzzword at the moment?
With the amount of time I spend designing and picking my merch up, it's anything but passive. But it is significant, and that's why I like it, and that's why you, as independent and DIY musicians, should hopefully get on it.
So there you go. That is today's 15-minute music marketing. Thank you, Sheldon.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you for listening and watching, and we will see you on the next episode.
See you later. Bye.